Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Not really an orchid video, but it is, I suppose. More an apology for being thin on the ground on the orchid videos. I've just had to get the Bournemouth Orchid Society magazine done, and it's taken nearly 2 days of almost solid work. Interrupted by a Zoom meeting for the other Orchid Society, my shopping delivery and all that all has to be packed away and put in the freezer and stuff. It's just been a little bit too much. But once that magazine's out the way, I've then got a meeting on Friday, and then after that it sort of all winds down for a while and I can get back to some sort of normality. All seems to have been a bit hectic lately. Quick look at some stuff. Let's see, why not? We're in here, aren't we? The Dendrobium nesta will be opening its buds relatively soon, and that's all there is. Normally we have about 20. That's what we've got this year, that's it. But the new growths are coming on, so hopefully we'll have 2 full-length canes next year. The Dendrobium lindleyi, the spikes are pushing on now. I think there's 4 altogether. Oh no, there's 5. There's a new one. And they're staggered. Obviously this one's the most advanced and this one's only just started. So we've got those to come soon. Those are going to look good. What else over here? My little epidendrum's looking nice. It's just a really nice colour. You know, it's a deep orange, almost fading to yellow, but never quite getting there. It still stays as orange. And we've got that misnamed Dendrobium nobile type up there, which we now have no name for, because it certainly wasn't what it was supposed to be. That's all that's going on over here, really. Now, I'm looking forward to this little Phalaenopsis opening another bud, because at the moment, the really attractive bud is facing the wrong way. But once this one opens, we'll have one facing this way. And then gradually, they just happen to alternate up the spike. That's how that one is. Was there anything over here? Nothing new, really. The little Coelogene nitida, or nitida, however you want to say it, is still looking nice. Blooms are showing no sign of fading there. And our Odontoglossum type, Oncostelli type, whatever, probably is tiger tail, another variant of it, but that's looking good, and many more blooms to come. Obviously that's a nice spike on there. And what is looking really good is the Dendrobium Victoria Regina. This is the most blooms I've had at one time, and this isn't it either. I mean, that's the clusters on this cane. The clusters on this cane have still got another set to go. And then over here we've got 3 clusters, even though one of them's only got 1 bud. And then we've got the outrageous set of buds that have decided to come out the top of the cane. That is unusual, that is. But this is the main sort of display, and I'm well pleased with that. Well pleased with that. It's not a lot of new buds on anything really other than the Dendrobiums. Most of the things like Miltonias and Oncidiums in the main are growing or about to. Cattleyas are mainly doing growing or attempting to. Once the Dendrobium flushes over, there's probably going to be a quiet time as far as blooms are concerned. I mean, the Miltonias, the Brassias, the other types of Oncidiums and intergenerics, they tend to grow this time of year. Just the odd few that come into bloom, like this one. And the only Cattleya that's, well, I say the only Cattleya, it's the only true Cattleya. The blooms are still lasting. They're still looking good. Still looking good. I say only Cattleya, that's the only true Cattleya, because we do have the Ivanagara up here with 3 nice blooms. One's pointing at the ceiling, pointing at the roof. The other 3 have decided to sort of look at us, generally speaking. Okay, so hopefully in the near future, the Comet King's looking good as well. Yeah, that's a nice nobly type, that one. Quite large blooms. That's its best flowering. I think it had one bloom or maybe two last year, but it was a kiki that just would not grow for such a long time. Possibly removed from the mother plant a bit too soon. That's normally what stalls them, but it's not always. But anyway, that's looking good as well. So yeah, hopefully in the near future I'm going to get back to some sort of normality. Even my watering routine's messed up at the moment. I mean, my mounts have had 2 sprays consecutively, which means they probably haven't really had enough water. They've had no feed. So I'm going to have to get back into more of a routine. I'm virtually out of water now, so tomorrow I must get the RO unit going and get some more water on the go. And because of the time of year, it's April. April is traditionally called April showers as far as the weather is concerned. Have we had any? Have we, El? It must be one of the driest Aprils I can ever remember, which means all the bonsai have to be watered, and the pots, you know, everything outside. I mean, I can see at the moment, you can probably see it, that's my rosemary, and look at the tips, they're drooping, they're in the sun, need some water, we need some rain. Or we need Roger to get out there with a watering can, but it ain't going to happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. I must admit, I've had enough today. I've had the Zoom meeting, which was what do you call it, not an emergency, but a priority meeting for the committee to make a decision, because the Wessex Orchid Society are hoping to change their venue for their shows. Now that's a committee decision, obviously, we have to discuss it and everything. So that's what that was about, and so maybe the October show will be in the new venue. I certainly hope so, because that old venue is wearing thin and it's causing headaches for a lot of the people that do the organising at that place. It's sort of, the management has changed. We've lost access to the kitchen to do our own catering. We've had to set up almost a flipping campsite now. It's just gone down, it's just not suitable anymore. But the new place at the moment, this year anyway, I mean we've only got one more show this year, is only available on Sundays. So that's the downside. The venue itself is brilliant, by the sounds of it anyway, I haven't seen it yet. But we'd have to have our... I reckon Hector, you can go off for a minute. Yeah, the only downside is that our October show would have to be on a Sunday, whereas our shows are traditionally on a Saturday. Some have said that shows on a Sunday don't work as well, but our shows at the current venue don't work that well because it's a school and it's down at like a little side road that only goes to the school. There is no passing people. No people walk past and see a poster saying Orchid Show, oh let's go and have a look. It's just not a very good place. Whereas this new venue is it's on the main corner that leads to the main car park for that shopping area. So it's going to get a lot of footfall walking past. And although the show's going to be on a Sunday, if we go ahead, there'll be posters up, and those posters will get seen by far, far, far more people than ever saw them before. So we'll have to wing it and see what happens, but I think from my point of view it's definitely worth giving it a go. Maybe it'll be a one-off, maybe we'll go back to the old venue and it doesn't work, but we shall see. Anyway, that's what the Zoom meeting was all about, and yeah, so I still feel as though I've got loads to do, but hopefully it's going to thin out as this week finishes and the next week starts. Hopefully I'm going to feel a bit more relaxed and get back to some sort of normality. I've still got repotting to do. I've got moss to sort out on the mounts. Anything that hasn't got live moss needs sorting. and that might mean I've got to go and get some more moss. And in addition to that, we've still got to do our our SAS raid on that piece of land to get my 2 new bonsai trees, my collected trees. We've still got to do that. Oh, I don't know whether, I can't see that happening this week now. What is it, Wednesday? Because I've got an Orchid Society meeting on the Friday, that means I'm home late. So I'll be late to bed, so I certainly don't want to be up at ridiculous o'clock Friday morning, which means I either do it tomorrow or it'll have to wait for next week. And the way I'm feeling at the moment, it's going to wait till next week. I really don't fancy getting up at silly o'clock tomorrow. Anyway, so that's what's sort of going on, and I will get back to normal orchid videos as soon as possible. You know, it's just other things have just sort of taken over recently. It's all getting a bit much, as they say. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.